finish recording this. Well, there's a fair amount of people here. Okay. And okay. Chat's on. So here's the first question, which of course we can't see the whole diagram because it doesn't fit on my presentation screen. Basically, this question is, you have a sheet of paper, one sheet of paper like so, and if you cut along the dark lines, yeah, it's the same question. I told you there are repeat questions, sir. There are repeat questions in contests. They're just worth less points or more points depending on what grade level you're at. So I think, you know, this was a 5-point question from the grade 3-4 level, but I think it's only 3 points in the grade 5-6 level. But anyway, so if you cut along the solid lines in any of these sheets of paper, which one will create a loop, one big continuous loop that you could walk through? All right. Yeah, Andrew, don't repeat that. I'll put you in the. You know, I see your answer once is good enough. Otherwise, I'll put you in the waiting room. So if you cut along the lines, you want to have one big continuous loop. All right. So the question is, which one will give you that if you cut along the lines? You know, I don't think you're going to get a loop in D, right? If you cut these along the lines, you're not going to get a loop. You're just going to get like some, you know, the loop has to be big enough for you to walk through. All right. So Leo thinks it's B, and that's close, Leo. The reason it's not B is because it's not joined. If you cut along the lines in B, right? If you cut along the lines, you're going to get one long strip of paper, but not joined, right? You're just going to get one long strip of paper, but it's not joined. It has to be joined. I think if you cut the lines here, Mia, in, all you're going to end up with is a hole here in the middle of the page. So the actual answer here is A. A is the answer. So let's keep going. We've got this, we're going to be here until like around 2:15. So we'll just go through some of these questions and see how it goes for you. Okay, so here's another question, which says, which of the following figures can be cut into two parts which are the same size and shape? Okay, I'm going to have to make this smaller again, I think. All right, a little bit. Okay, so here's 5 pictures, and you want to cut it so that you can have the same size and shape for the 2 pieces. So I've got a bunch of people saying A here. All right. Amory, I recognize that name. All right. Okay, so a bunch of people are saying A. All right. You know, you have to have the same shape on both sides, right? So I don't think this is that difficult. If you draw a line right here, then you have 2 pieces that are exactly the same. Yeah. Okay, Andrew. No need to put the garbage in the chat, just takes up space. Okay. That's the second question, right? So not that hard. You just have to find division. Right? Again, you can see this was a question from the grade 3-4 list, so it should be easier for some of you guys. Uncle Rat eats 2 books a month, and Aunt Rat eats 1 book every 2 months. In a year, Uncle Rat eats how many more books than Aunt Rat? Yeah, Leo, I agree with you. Your spelling's a little bit off there, but it's close enough. Right, so what's the answer here? Someone said C here? Who put the C in? Oh, Andrew, because you've been here before. Okay, you did all the questions already. Good to know. Yeah, very good. Spelling's much improved now. Right, so if you eat 2 books a month, sorry. If you eat 2 books a month, that's going to be 24. 2 books a month is 24. 12 times 2, right? And if you eat 1 book every 2 months, 1 book every 2 months, it's 12 divided by 2. And Leo, the question is, you didn't read the question properly, sir. I don't think. It doesn't ask us how many books Uncle Rat ate. It asks how many more books he ate. All right, so you gotta go slow, right? Slowish. These are timed when you actually, if you participate in the contest, they're timed. I think there's 15 questions at this level. So anyway, the difference here is 24 take away 6 is 18. All right, so 18 is the answer. Uncle eats 24 and eats 6. 24 subtract 6 is the difference, right? When you have no, if you want to know how many more something is, you have to use subtraction. Okay. There's a lot of people here. I don't know how many, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, maybe. Okay, let's try another one. So here's the question. It says, the largest multiple of 10 that is smaller than 11 times 11. The largest multiple of 10. Andrew says C. And Evan says B. And Kevin says B. Leo and Ivan say C. So we got a couple of B's, a couple of C's. All right, so you have to understand some of the terminology here, right? Multiple of 10. Right? Multiple of 10. That means what? Something times 10, right? How many 10s are there? Okay. Alex says B. Ufan says B. So Kevin, it's B for sure. You already answered once, Kevin. Amory says B. Leo, I don't know. Anyway, what's 11 times 11 for those mathematical specialty people here? 11 times 11 is, your times tables, 121, right? 121. Okay. Then if you count by tens, a multiple of 10 means some number times 10, right? Some people say it was C. 11 times 10 is 110. But 12 times 10 is 120. That's as close as you're going to get to 121, right? So the answer is definitely B. The largest multiple of 10 is 10 times 12, which is a bit less than that. So the answer is B. Yeah, Kevin, you said it was B, so we're all good. Okay. So you have to know what multiple of 10 means. Right? If you don't know what that means, you're kind of stuck. All right, let's try another one. So read this question and see if it makes sense to you while I maybe shrink the answers up here. Sorry, I took it off the screen. Oh, it's the whole thing. Okay. Sorry, I'm just going to move this a little bit and make this small. So maybe we can see it all in one. Not quite. So here's the question. The squirrel Scrat has a few nuts. When he put them in groups of 5, there were 2 left. And when he put them in groups of 3, there were no nuts left. Okay. So what do you know about groups of 5? Or do you know anything about groups of 5 or multiples of 5? Yeah, someone just give me the answer. Okay. Well, D might be right, but I didn't. That wasn't the question I asked. Okay, people just want to give me answers here. Don't just give me answers. Answer my question. What do we know about multiples of 5? Anything special about multiples of 5? Now you guys keep battling with the answers. Who's going to answer my question? Oh, yeah, but what do we know about them, right, Kevin? What do we know about multiples of 5? Well, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. They all end in 5 or 0. Right? They end in 5 or 0. Right, good. So that means if there's going to be 2 nuts left over, right, and they end in 5 or 0, the number has to end in 7 or, right? 5 plus 2 is 7. And 0 plus 2 is 2. So the number of nuts has to end in 7 or end in 2. Leo says B versus D, right? Has to end in 7 or 2, right? Anything else is not going to work out. Okay. And now it says what? The second part of it says when you put them in piles of 3, there were no leftovers. That means your number has to be divisible by 3, right? 3 has to divide into your number equally with no leftovers. Well, 3 doesn't go into 32, right? 3 does not go into 32. 10 times 3 is 30. Right. But 3 goes into 57. Right. Turns out that 19 times 3 is 57. If there's 12, it'll work too. What do you mean if there's 12? But there isn't 12. 12 is not a possibility. Okay, so how do I know that 57 is divisible by 3 other than guessing, right? There's a rule for divisible by 3 if you know. Yeah, it's okay, Kevin. Just be careful when you read it. All right. If a number is divisible by 3, when you add up the digits, what's 5 plus 7? What's 5 plus 7? Nobody knows. Yeah, 5 plus 7 is 12, right? So if the sum of the digits of a number is divisible by 3, then so is the number, right? 57 is divisible by 3, and so is 12, because 7 is 5, right? So for example, like if I said 7, 4, 9, 7, and you want to know if that's divisible by 3, 7, 4, 9, 7, right? Divisibility rules. Yeah, you forgot the V. Right? 7, 4, 9, 7. I don't know. Is that divisible by 3? Well, add them up, right? 7 plus 4 plus 9 plus 7 equals 27. That's divisible by 3, so is this, right? So you divide this by 3, and you get, 2, 4, 7, 7 or something like that. I don't know if that's right. That's probably not right. 2, 14, 3 with 29, 7. Yeah, I think that maybe, I don't know. I made a mistake. Maybe. Anyway, that's divisibility by 3, but the answer here then has to be 57, because 32 is not divisible by 3. Right. If a number is divisible by 5, it ends in 0. Do you guys know the divisibility rule for 4? Does anyone know the divisibility rule for 4? Yeah, Kevin, what is it? What's the divisibility rule for 4? Last two digits. Very good, Kevin. Okay, right. If the last two digits of a number are divisible by 4, so is the number. So anything that ends in 16 is divisible by 4. You can put whatever you want in front of it. 7, 2, 1, 9, 5, 3. That number is divisible by 4 because the last two digits are divisible by 4. Kind of cool stuff, divisibility of numbers. There's a whole branch of mathematics called number theory and divisibility and prime numbers and stuff. Okay, next question. Read this one. I can see what kind of answers you might have. Leo, enough of the commentary, please. Nine or 8. Well, you only get one answer, Andrew. I'm sorry. You only get one answer. You say 9 or 8. Okay. Well, we've got 7 red pencils and 5 blue pencils. And you're just going to put them out on the floor. Okay, I got some people who said 8. That's fine. I'm just going to lay them out. I put one out, put it down, put another one out, put it down, put it out, put it down, right? How many pencils does he need to take out to be sure that he has at least 2 reds? I need 2 reds. 2 reds. And at least 3 blues. Uh, 5. Someone said 5, right? Well, if you're lucky, that might happen. Right? If you're lucky, that might happen. You might pick 2 reds out and then 3 blues, and then you'd be done. But is that always going to happen? If you pick out 5, will you always get 2 reds and 3 blues? If you pick out 5, will you always get 2 reds and 3 blues? That's a yes or no question. No, right? What's the worst that could happen to you if you picked out 5? What's the worst case? Mia says F. So did Evan said F. I'm not sure if Evan's Evan from last year or not, but right. The worst case is I could get all of one color, right? Okay, well, let's say we get 5 blues. Right. If I get 5 blues, then how many more do I have to take? If I get 5 blues, I've got at least 3, right? 5 blues. Then I take 2 more, and I'm guaranteed to get red. If I get the first 5 are blue, the next 2 have to be red. And so that's a total of 7. All right. That's a total of 7. So maybe it's 7, but what about the other way? Right? What if I get 5 reds? That could happen, right? If I pick out 5, I could get the first 5 could be red. What about the 6th one? Could it be red? Could the 6th one be red? If I pick out the 6th one? Could the 6th one be red? Yes, thank you, Evan. Could the 7th one be red? Could the 7th pencil be red? Yeah, it could. I could have 7 reds. Could the 8th pencil be red? Could the 8th pencil be red? It could not, right? The 8th pencil could not be red. And I need how many? I need 3 blues, right? So I'd have to take another one, and another one. The next 3 would be blue. So it says, I want to be sure that I get 2 reds and 3 blues. I can't pick 7 because might get 7 reds. But this way, I'm sure that I'm going to get that, right? How many pencils are here? 10. Okay. It's a tricky question, really. I want to be sure. I have to pick 10 to be sure. I might get it earlier, right? If you get lucky, you might get it in the first 5. It might only take 5. So it'll take at least 5, right? Minimum of 5 and maximum of 10. It could happen anywhere in between, but they want to know. I want to be sure that I get that. If I pick out 10 pencils, I will always have at least 2 red and at least 3 blue. So 11, I don't need 11 actually, Leo. 10, 11, 12, I mean, yeah, anything more than 10 is going to be guaranteed that, but what's the least? That's what they want to know, right? I want to guarantee it. Okay. So Alex, it's not 11 or, okay. So hopefully you understand that a little bit, but that's a good question. Whoops, I think I went too far. I don't think this question is very difficult, but Andrew says 6. Also, Yifan says 6. All right. You're taking a 3-liter jug and you're filling up half-liter bottles. What's the most you can get? Infinite? Wait. I don't think you could have infinite number. You only have 3 liters. If you refill the jug, now don't go, yeah, I know, it doesn't say you can't refill it. Okay. But if you can't refill it, it's full. Okay. It's clearly 6, right? You can get 2 bottles for every liter. 3 times 2. 2 half-liter bottles. I don't think this is difficult, especially for you guys in grade 5 or 6. It shouldn't be. Right. So the answer is definitely C. All right. 5-minute warning, people. Yeah. Well, you're not supposed to be in this group there, Andrew. So, but if you're good enough, that's fine. You're starting grade 4 in September, like next week. Good. I'm glad you're doing well with math. So here's a repeat question from, right, is worth 4 points in the grade 3-4 level, and it's only worth 3 points in this level, but that's because it's, oh yeah, Panya, you're going into grade 4 also? Wow. Were you in the last group too? Maybe you're just good at math, so you're doing 6. Yeah, grade 7 math, that's cool. That's excellent. All right, so you're gonna randomly pick 26 times 1 letter from the alphabet. So you pick one A, you put it back, you pick out another one, X, you put it back, you pick out another one, and you do it 26 times. 26 times. Sometimes you're going to pick a letter from mathematics, right? Sometimes you're going to get lucky. Oh, I'm going to pick an A. It's in mathematics. Right? What's the most likely number of times that you pick a letter from mathematics when you pick a random number out of a random letter out of the alphabet? What's the most likely number of times? Right? Well, the 26 is important, right? Why is the 26 important? Because there are only 26 letters in the alphabet. Okay, so theoretically, this is number theory, this is probability, you should likely get one of each letter, but that's never going to happen. Right? Almost never. You'll likely get repeats. But anyway, the most likely number of times that you get a letter from mathematics is figure out how many letters are in mathematics. Well, there's 11 letters, right? There's 11 letters, but right, 11 letters, but only 8 of them are different, right? There are 8 different letters, and so your chances are probably 8. You'll probably get a letter in mathematics 8 times, but that's the most likely outcome. But probability is based on like infinite number of trials. If you picked out 26 letters, yeah, there's 2 M's, right? There's 2 A's and there's 2 T's. And so we only have 8 different letters. So 8 different, that's the most likely. But as I said, it won't be 8 probably. Yeah, worst case is just not any of those, right? You could get 0. I'm sure there's lots of times when you would get 0. Anyway, let's try one more. We only got a couple questions left, so this one's not too tough. It says 2 numbers differ by 10. So if you know what differ means difference, right? Subtraction. So the answer to subtraction question is 10. Yeah, Andrew, I know we've seen it before. And their sum is 22. They have to add up to 22, right? So let's do this. They have to add up to 22. P plus Q equals 22. P and Q are the numbers. P is the bigger number. And P minus Q equals 10. All right. What happens if I add this up? All right. What's 22 plus 10? 22 plus 10 is 32. Then I have an equal sign. If I add up this, P plus P. Right? If I have 1 P and another P, I have 2 of them. And what's Q, right? What's plus 5 minus 5? That's going to be 0. This is algebra for those people who want to do it. But if I add these up, P plus P, 1 plus 1 is 2. 1 plus negative 1 is 0. 22 plus 10. So 2 times the larger number is 32. So the larger number is divide by 2, right? 32 divided by 2 is 16. 32 divided by 2, 16. Okay. So the larger number is 16. So the answer here is G.